The Python Show.
Hello and welcome to the Python Show. I'm your host, Mike Driscoll, and today I have the honor of having Maaike and Imke, authors for a new book from Pact Publishing called Python Illustrated. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you, Mike.
It's really great to have you. It's been a long time since I've interviewed authors on the show, mainly because I took a break. But welcome to the show, and maybe we can kick it off by having you all tell me about your journey into programming.
Yeah, that definitely works. Maybe I can start with my journey into programming.
Sure. Sounds good.
Yeah, it started quite early because I love to play video games and I aspired to make my own video games. And I learned that in order to make your own video games, you have to learn how to program. To be honest, I never really made video games in the end. I never got there. I mean, I made a few with these tools. You had a game maker at the time. I used that. That was fun. But I started to use it professionally sooner than that I ever got to making video games. So I learned, I think, some PHP in high school, and then Java in the university, and then all these other languages they followed at work.
Nice. Does Emke do programming too?
Well, not in the way that Maaike does. I also started out with Game Maker when I was, I think, 11 or something. But that was mainly also because Maaike was doing it. I think I just followed her path as the little sister.
Yeah.
And then I did some programming in school, but I never really got to any decent level. So I learned JavaScript and I learned Python. Actually, I learned Python to help create this book, which was really fun. And it was also, I think that was helpful in the process of writing it because I was sort of a beginner because I knew some programming concepts, but I was still a beginner for Python. And that's how I could point out to Maaike, saying, well, this is not clear. If you don't know what's going on, you need to elaborate, stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. It's great to have a couple of beta readers who can read the book along with you that they're at different levels. Having a beginner, it's good to have someone advanced too, because they'll be like, oh, you're explaining this completely wrong.
Yeah, we had that. We had some tech reviewers and we had some discussions as well. And I'm actually quite curious what your opinion there too, Mike. Because when you write a book for beginners, you have to take some shortcuts sometimes because you can't explain concepts like memory. I mean, you could, but you risk losing them. And that's a nuance that is always a little bit hard to decide what to do. How do you go around that? Like, do you explain the more difficult concepts right away, or?
So I try to be upfront at the beginning of the book and say, you should have a little bit of computer science. You're maybe not have like a full course, but you should have a little bit before you start reading this book because I don't want to explain, memory management, virtualization, databases. You need to know a little bit. You need to, but there's also the problem that a lot of people, when they're learning programming now, they're using tablets. They don't understand that there's a file system. They don't, when they save something, they don't know where it goes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I didn't even think about that when I was originally writing my books. But I guess a lot of the new kids, so to speak, they're using Chromebooks and they don't even know where their stuff is getting saved. Some of that stuff gets saved to the cloud, And so that makes things really interesting. You have to think about, how do you explain this? How do you launch a terminal? What is a terminal? Because it's called a command prompt on Windows. It's called a terminal on Linux. It's called iTerm on Mac. It makes things really, really complicated. So yeah, you have to consider those things. And I kind of let the beta readers tell me, is this enough? Originally, and I actually had a couple of really good reviewers, and one of them was like, you need to explain how to install Python, but when you come to the packages part, you need to explain, Python virtual environments because everyone uses those now. I don't use them as much as I should, but if you're going to use them, Or if you're going to do Python and install any packages, you really need to understand that you need to do that, for example. And I'm like, does that really need to be in a beginner's book, though? You
We
know,
skip that. We skip that, but we
yeah.
had similar discussions.
I always feel like that's a thing. What do we do with that? I think I linked to it. I think I'm like, if you want to know what this is, and you probably should for best practices, go look at the
This out.
Python documentation here. You know, that kind of thing.
We did that a little bit as well, like where we took shortcuts. Imke was drawing illustrations to let people know, like, it's not that simple, but for now it is, because we don't want to scare you away.
Yeah, because I think when I rewrote Python 101, it went from like a 300-page book to like a 450-page book, because I had to add all this extra stuff to explain things, and I think it made the book better. But now it's kind of painful to read because it's so long. But
we cut a chapter when writing the book, because we were planning
nice.
on a chapter, one extra chapter. So there was a 12th chapter, but then there was another chapter 11, but it was on writing tests.
Okay.
And I still think it would be very valuable, but the rest of the book, it really takes you from zero.
Yeah.
And to do that in the same way with testing, the book would get almost twice as long, because we have to explain the whole concept of testing and why it's being used and what the process is and the bigger picture. And it just got too much to do in a way that's accessible for the audience we intended. So we decided to skip it.
I mean, that you have that whole problem with like processes and threads too. It's like people need to know that they exist, but explaining the whole process, yikes. Yeah, that's like a book right there.
Exactly. Yeah. And we really started from zero, or at least I think we did. So I think if you never programmed, this book should be a go-to. So there's no prerequisites other than very basic computer and tablet handling.
You have to be able to start it, I think.
That's good.
You have to be able to open up a browser. I think that's sort of like
that's the level, and I think that's if you can do that, it's doable.
Yeah, totally agree.
At least that's what we aim for. So we hope to make it that accessible. But to get that level of accessibility to a testing chapter, it was a book.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It's
so
very
Imke, yep, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Imke was telling me that she got started with Python with your book, but how did you get into Python, Maaike?
How did I get into Python?
Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Well, maybe you remember your first project? Like what's like one of your first projects?
My first project in Python. I think it was for a Dutch governmental organization. I think that's at least the earliest I can remember. And then we worked with Django.
Okay. That's a good first one.
Coming from Spring, yeah, it was a transition. It took me a little bit before I stopped, hitting semicolon at the end of the sentence.
Cool. It's funny how semicolons can be used in weird ways in Python, but that's kind of a rabbit trail.
Sounds like a blog.
Yeah. So do you guys have any like favorite Python packages?
Oh, well, that's actually a thing. If I use Python right now for all sorts of tasks, I usually use it for like small automation tasks, and of course for small AI scripts, and for DevOps, like small scripts. That's what I use Python for the most right now.
Yeah.
So I don't do a lot of Django development or things with Flask, only for like small demonstration purposes. But Python is my go-to language for the quick scripts. And lately it's a lot of open AI in there.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, I didn't put a lot of like design questions, so let's try to come up with something for Imke. Are you like an art student or art teacher, or what exactly do you do if you're not doing programming?
Well, I'm just a bit of a creative mess, and my daily job is actually to assist Maaike in her teaching and make sure that she has creative and pretty looking teaching materials.
Nice. That's a good thing to have. I mean, when I'm creating presentations, I'm like, it's just text, and I need a design person. You know?
So I'm super lucky that I can hand over my text to Imke and then I get slides back.
That's really cool. Do you guys use like Jupyter Notebook for some of your presentations to like have interactive
Hardly
text
ever.
sessions? That's too bad. I
You
like
wrote a book
using
on it.
what is it called? There's a neat tool you can add to Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook that lets you run the cells as slides, and so then you can do live
Oh.
coding in your slide.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm actually going to take a note of that because I do want to explore that. That sounds super fun.
It's really cool. I've also seen people. A friend of mine uses just regular Jupyter Notebook, and he'll use it to like demonstrate pandas, and so he can show the graphs and the different things because it'll actually output in Jupyter, whatever output you want. So you can see the tables in pandas, and you can see the graphs and stuff. And it works with Matplotlib too.
Oh,
So
nice.
you have all this neat stuff there. Then you don't need the visual as much because you're creating it right there in Jupyter Lab live, which is I
Oh,
don't know,
that's
that's
really
cool.
cool.
So it's always a pain when she has big labs of code on a slide, and then I go manually highlight the things that I want blue and so
Yeah,
on. It would be great if we had a solution for that, Mike.
I think we can write a tool for that.
Yeah, probably.
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I think.
we can absolutely write a tool for that. Okay, making another note.
That'd be cool. Okay, we talked about Python packages. Well, how did you guys get into like doing this whole book writing, illustrating thing? I mean, did Pack just come to you, or did you guys start like shopping for a publisher?
Well, that's also something I don't remember. So we had a bit of a discussion lately. Like last time, we were on some live stream with Tushar from Pact, and he said it was my idea, but I'm pretty sure that he made me think it was my idea, and then I made it for Pact. And
The
Imke
way
seems
I
just to take
remember
it from
it
here, really.
is Maaike had this idea, and first she dragged me into it, made me agree to do the illustrations, and I gladly did. But I think Pact struggled at first. They didn't. The way I remember it is they didn't want to do it at first. But you
Yeah,
continue.
no. They wanted an illustrated guide, but they wanted it to be very boring illustrations with like helpful, solidify the concept illustrations. And then I was like, I
Oh.
want my cat to write this book, and it should have cute pictures of cats and dogs in it.
It's funny how you have to fight with publishers sometimes to get them to do what you think is the best thing to do.
I'm not sure if it's the best thing to do, but this is what I wanted to do.
Well, yes. I mean, the author has to be happy too, you know.
Right? We spent a lot of time on it. I'm not sure if Imke is still happy, though. Are you still happy, Imke?
With the book.
No,
Or-
with all
or
the
in
work and
general.
the illustrations and the layouts, and because he did also all the layouts of the book as well.
Well, one thing that really bothered me when we finally got it, and this one is actually a bit better because I got the first copy. I gave it to my dad, but we spent so
I have
much
the
time
first copy here.
on fixing the layouts. Yes, and then the cover is just like a few millimeters off the edge.
Yeah. And then also this here at the back. Imke was really upset with that as well.
So, yeah, that was one thing I wasn't happy with. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, this is done. I can't change it anymore.
And it's not on all copies though, because now I have a whole bunch of copies laying behind me, and they're fine.
Yeah, I've noticed. So I self-publish most of my books, so I have to be really careful to have the margins on the cover just right, or it'll cut stuff off on the left or the right, and that is really frustrating, especially when you print a bunch of them and you can see that the books were cut differently, and so not everyone's going to get the exact same feel because your book is just cut slightly differently.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you something. There's something so weird. No, wait, I can't show you it. Because then the whole thing will collapse in the back. But I got them from the Pact website. I got my author copies from them, and I got them from Amazon. and they have a very different width, the book. So the ones from, I think the ones, I don't know which ones are bigger. I think the ones from Pact are bigger than the ones from Amazon, and also different paper style.
Oh, interesting. So they have a different publisher, and then they're using probably
different printer or something.
They're probably using AWS, or not AWS. They're using Amazon's print service when you order from Amazon, but when they send it to you from them, it's probably from a different printer.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, because it also has a slightly different color.
It also says printed in France in the back.
When you get it from Pact, does it come from the US or does it come from your country?
Oh, this one is from Amazon. Printed in France by Amazon. Let me go check my book in the back.
Because that would make a difference too. I know Amazon builds their books. They used to do it on the East Coast, but now there's like one in Chicago or somewhere in Illinois, and so I get my books now from Illinois, and it comes like overnight. So, the publisher copy comes overnight, but if I or not the publisher, the proof copy, when I actually order my, like in bulk, it comes from like one of the two coasts. It doesn't come from that one that's really handy, and so it takes, over a week, sometimes 2 weeks to get the same thing. Oh yeah, you can totally see the difference. One's using a much brighter.
One is from the UK, and also the color is a bit different.
Huh.
But also, like, look at the size difference. I mean, it's like all the content is the same. It's quite a big difference for the same book.
Are they just using a heavier paper? Did they actually?
Yeah, so this one is like a little bit of the, like, not shiny, but a bit more shiny, softer paper, and the other one has a bit more texture. Huh. I prefer the one with more texture, but I think this one looks more sophisticated.
No, I get it. It's as I'm not as nerdy as book. I'm not really a book. What's it called? A bibliophile? Someone who likes the smell of books and the touch of books. My daughter likes the library because it smells like a book. She just likes the smell when she goes in there, and so she's more interested in that. But I do like pages that will turn without like sticking, for example. So I do notice stuff like that. But yeah, I'm probably not as picky as I should be, especially since I'm writing as much as I am.
Yes, and so many books.
So, are you ladies training people with Python now, or are you still doing Java too, or you're doing a little bit of both?
Let's see. What am I doing? I'm currently doing quite some Java, more JavaScript than I expected to be doing right now, and also lots of AI usage in coding workflows, and that could be all sorts of coding like C#, Python. It's more about the AI than really the exact code. So
are you guys teaching like how to use the free agents or how to use just like Copilot or?
Yeah, things like GitHub Copilot, how to efficiently be using it, and how to configure certain models in certain ways, these sorts of things.
Do you guys talk about like GitHub Actions and using Copilot to like help with
also
that?
Yes, but that's more in the DevOps training that I deal with GitHub Actions, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and then there's some Python in there too, so that's good.
How do you illustrate something like GitHub Actions or?
Well, then it's more stock images and icons for slides like that. So these style of illustrations, it's quite. I think you did it once before when you were explaining sync versus async.
It was a totally different style though.
It was very pretty though. I loved it.
Yeah. Eventually, I turned that into an animation. Remember, I think it's a year and a half ago, some students gave us as feedback that there weren't enough animations. So I started using those illustrations from that explanation and made the washing machine turn.
Yeah, I recall. Yeah.
How do you make animations? I'm just curious.
Well,
what did you say?
I'm a big fan of PowerPoint. You have so many possibilities for animations, and you can really let things walk in and turn around, and the morph transition is always my favorite. So if I need an animation, I just go for PowerPoint.
But you also the axolotl you made with some Adobe product, no? That you made for the...
Oh no, I did it in Procreate, the GIF.
Oh, And Procreate is an Apple app, or
It's for iPad, but I'm not. I don't think it's Apple.
okay.
I've never
You
heard of
used
that one.
Procreate for this book as well, no?
Yeah.
So is that like a kind of like Inkscape or something like drawing or?
Yeah, but Inkscape is for vectors, and in Procreate you're just working with pixels. So
Oh,
it's just a drawing app, and you can work in layers and
hmm,
different pencils.
cool. Does that mean you have to have different styluses to make that work? For you do like thicker lines, or do you just tell it?
Well, that's just the one. I just use the Apple Pencil.
Okay. I don't
Um,
know. I'm not an illustrator. That's why I'm
yeah,
asking these questions.
yeah, and it's actually pretty versatile because if you tilt it a little, it's like when you tilt a regular pencil. So it's very reactive and it feels pretty nice.
Cool.
How
I
many
have some.
hours you spent illustrating, Imke, on this book? Have you any clue?
I don't think we really want to know.
I do want to know. Do you think it exceeds like 500 hours?
Probably. Well, maybe.
Well, how long does it take you to do one illustration on a page?
Yeah, it really depends how complicated it is. Well, I think at least an hour per illustration on average,
Okay.
and there are over 200, so 500 might be,
But you did also do all the layouts of the book,
the
like
layouts
nitty in the page and stuff.
and thinking. Sometimes thinking about the illustration is more work than the actual illustrating itself.
So wait a minute. You guys did the layout. Pact didn't do that for you. You guys had to do that. And what did you guys end up using?
They
Is it
did
still Microsoft Word or Publisher or
they
InDesign, right?
start
InDesign?
the layouts, but we were very
Well, Imke has a great eye for detail, and it was more work to give the feedback than for her to do it herself. So she did. I think you did an InDesign, Imke.
So you get to like split the work almost evenly, or do you feel like
No,
MK
Imke
got
did most. Imke did
okay?
most. Yeah, for sure. I only wrote the text.
Okay.
yeah, okay, but the book wouldn't be anything without text.
No, then it would be, but still, like, it would not be as interesting without the illustrations. Without the illustrations, it would just be another Python book, and that's boring.
It would literally just be Python.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good symbiotic relationship going on here.
We had fun creating all of this.
Absolutely. I think we always have fun working together.
And then I had this exam at some point because I was studying part-time. And then Imke made this illustration for me to wish me good luck for my exam in the style of the book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and when Zia, the real Zia, she had surgery on her
that
eye.
happened. Yeah. So, but did she have glasses before then already?
I think she did.
Okay, so let me tell the story. So I have this super cute cat, and she's the best cat in the world. Whatever anyone else says, she is the best cat. I'm so lucky. But then I had 2 foster kittens in the house. That's from the local shelter, and they look for houses because they are too young to sit in the shelter. And and I had them, and then there was a little accident where one of the tiny kittens, she hurt Zia's eye. She pierced it, and then she had to get eye surgery. But they were able to get her to keep the eye. But it was a difficult process. But
Okay.
I mean, it was not funny in any way. But the Zia that we were drawing in the books, he already was wearing glasses, so that was a little bit funny.
That's cool. What kind of cat do you have anyway?
She's British short hair.
Okay. Yeah, we have cats at my house too, so I'm just curious what kind.
What kind of cats do you have?
They're both tabbies. One's brownish with stripes, and the other one's gray.
Oh, nice. Are they the best cat in the world too?
Well, I have an affinity to the older one because we've had her for so much longer. She's like 14 now, so she's up there in age, and she's super sweet.
Yeah, so nice.
Okay, so you ladies, is this your first book or working together, or have you done other books?
Well, it's our first book together, and I've
Okay.
done 3 other books.
So is there like anything like any lessons you've learned writing a book together that makes it different than like your previous books?
I think it was more fun, but I was quite lucky because I had another co-author, Sean, for 2 of my other books, and we had a lot of banter as well going on.
Mm.
But I think if writing a book is not fun, then there's no real reason to write a book anymore because you won't get rich by writing a book, so you better enjoy the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a lot of fun, and I'm only willing to write another book if we will have this much fun again.
Yeah.
Not sure if Imke is willing to write another book at all.
I think I was the one who immediately said when we were done, when are we going to start the next project? Because I already forgot how much of a pain the difficult parts were.
Well, maybe you could offload this a little bit and do a little bit less illustrating. Like I don't know, illustrate like the chapter headings or something, so you don't have to draw it quite as much. I don't know.
I mean,
I still think it'd be cool.
I still want to get the slides done as well for this book because I love it when a book is a teaching tool for universities or high schools, maybe rather
Oh.
this book. And then it helps if you have like supporting slides. But Imke already made some slides and they were super cute. But that's definitely a
Nice.
fun thing that we can still do.
So you guys going to like turn this into like a whole course that you can give to local or maybe not so local places?
Yeah, I mean, like local would be a different language mostly.
Okay.
So anyone who wants to use the book really should be able to use it.
Well, that brings up an interesting point. Do you guys usually teach in English or do you teach in your native language or?
Both, but I think it's like 80% English and 20% Dutch, just because of the clients I'm having.
Okay. Well, I don't know much about the Dutch. Is there a lot of like IT type or programming engineering type roles there or?
I think quite. Yeah, I think we have quite some software development going on. But even for Dutch clients, I very often have to speak English because not all the employees speak Dutch.
Oh, interesting. Does that mean we have a lot of foreign nationals in your country?
Yeah,
Okay.
quite some, and because it's quite. I mean, it's less at the moment because the job market is different, of course. But it used to be very difficult to get the IT talent, so they would import it.
Mhm. Okay. That's really interesting. See,
Yeah,
I'm
it's really
I'm learning
interesting.
all kinds of new things today. Can you guys tell me about any new projects you're working on, or are you just promoting this one right now?
We just wrapped up a Pluralsight course, so that's nice.
Neat. Is that out yet, or is it coming out soon?
Yeah, it was published. Yes, yeah, it's on
Okay.
spring, so it's a very different topic. And I really hope because we've been working on this for 2 years, Imke, maybe more. The IT fundamentals course.
Yeah, it's nearly done actually. I think.
So I love teaching fundamentals, and I also have been teaching a lot of fundamentals to non-IT people. So, for example, recruiters or managers or all sorts of people that somehow Scrum masters that they need to have some technical knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
but that might not come from a technical background. And I've been giving them like classroom trainings for quite a while. And at some point, I made a Udemy course on it, but that was like 2018, and it looks awful. With all it was my first course, and if I look back at that
Yeah.
course, it's awful. But it's still relevant today, and it's still being watched. So my plan was to go make a better version of that, and then all these other projects they keep
Mm-hmm.
coming in between, but we're quite far. So I think that will probably be the next one, like the next bigger thing that will get out. I hope.
So what was the topic for that new one that's coming?
IT fundamentals. So it's
IT
pretty much
fundamentals.
IT for non-IT professionals.
And you're going to have your sister do all the art for that too?
She already did.
Oh,
Yeah,
she already
I just
did.
we're
Wow.
edited
so
on
close. We're
videos.
so close, really.
Why?
I
Why did
think
we? What? Yeah, I'm not sure. We need to.
you don't want to record the pickups.
Is it just me recording the pickups?
Yeah,
That's
and
all.
some on camera bits because we
Oh,
decided that it would be more fun if Maaike showed her face a little.
Okay.
I mean, it should not be too much work. And if it's like our own course, we don't have to be so picky about the quality. Because for some other clients, they're very picky about the quality, and as they should be. But I had this Elgato camera, which is awful. Like it slowed down the process by so much. Like right now I'm on my regular webcam and it's always working. And that's great. But this other one, it would crash like the whole time if it started at all. So half the time of my recording was fighting with their hub and plugging it in and uninstalling it. And it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's awful.
So I had the sound was not in sync with the video, and there was no way to put it right, because if you fixed it on one spot, then the other would be messed up.
Wow, that is a mess.
Yeah, I should get rid of that camera, really. But the prompter was so nice, though.
Yeah, I think I might have an Elgato. I think it's a light, and it is very flaky.
Light. Perfect.
Oh, well, good. Mine is very temperamental. So.
Well, do you have it on your Wi-Fi and stuff? Because I never managed to get that done. I just turned it off and on.
I think that's the problem. Is it is on Wi-Fi, and so it doesn't always work right. It drops its connection and the light turns off.
Yeah. So I never managed to get that set up, but if I use the switch, works perfectly. It's like 3 years old, still going, so we're good.
I think I need to uninstall the drivers on it so I can make it manual again.
Just make it a boring lamp, and then it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to be in their shoes from a software perspective, though. Making that hardware work on all the different machines all the time is very difficult.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get you guys need to send me your links to all this new stuff you're working on so I can share it with our listeners when I publish this episode.
Yeah, I would love to. Maybe I'll record the pickups tonight, Imke.
Oh my gosh. Does that mean that I would have to work tomorrow?
I mean, it's not we're not really in a rush here. We're delaying this for 2 years, okay?
Yeah, okay. I think there were also some things we wanted to add, like.
Oh, okay. Well, let's schedule a meeting about that next then.
Yeah, let's not do that here.
Yeah. So, and I don't believe we'll ever be bored, because Imke started working for me, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Almost exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
2 years.
I should probably keep track of that. Sorry, Imke. But she was bored, afraid in the beginning she would be bored at some point. And I think I asked her somewhere at the end of last year, is that still something, you fear? And I believe you're fine now, right?
Yeah, well, some things can be boring.
Oh, yeah.
I never have to worry about not having anything to do.
That's a good thing.
I bet that's the same for you, Mike, with all your projects that you have going on.
Yeah, I like having something to do in my off time too. So I'm always writing something.
Writing is a really nice hobby.
What are you working on right now?
I'm writing a short book about the Python's typing system, how type hints work, the type checkers.
Nice.
A lot of people loved MyPy, but now that Astral has released the TY product, which is written with rough, and it's 100 times faster than any other product out there, everyone's moving to the TY, kind of like everyone started moving to rough instead of Pylint. So I'm going to include both because they actually do different things. MyPy does things very differently than the way TY works. And I think MyPy right now is more thorough than TY is, because TY is just an alpha product right now. But it is so much faster and everyone's moving to it. I need to include both.
Oh, that's really nice. I think if you include both, people understand the mechanism even better, because it's two different approaches.
Yep. And then I keep saying I'm going to do this, and I just haven't. But there's something called, what is it? I always get it mixed up. There's MicroPython, and there's another one. Just the other one. Of course, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, they basically lets you program on microcontrollers with Python. And I have these little microcontrollers at home that have been sitting on my to-do list for a couple of years now. And it'd be so fun.
Arduino or something.
What's that?
It's not Arduino.
No, it's not Arduino. Circuit
Raspberry?
Python. It's called Circuit Python.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
Um, I think Adafruit is the company behind Circuit Python, and they have all these little controllers. So you can like there's like a little screen you can actually wear it. You can program it to do different things. Um, they have these little
Oh,
probes you could like measure moisture sensor like in your plant in the background. You could write a program that tells you, oh, your plant's getting dry, you better go water it. Um,
at
you can do
this
all kinds of
point,
things. Pretty
cameras
much,
could even tell, but yeah.
you could do all kinds of different things with it. A lot of them are silly, but there's a lot of learning things there, and I think that'd be fun to have like a little project book of, you know, here's what you can do. It'll cost you maybe $10, $40. This one costs too much. Don't bother with this one. But you could do all these different fun little activities. I just want to like lower it down and make it really easy for like kids to do it because I think that'd be a fun thing for like teenagers to do. Like, how do I measure the barometric pressure outside? Um, what does that tell me? Is a storm front coming in, for example? What kind of storm? Is it wind? You could do all kinds of fun things with it.
Oh, it's really
I
cool.
don't
And
know.
it's relatively affordable.
Yeah, most of the pieces are less than $10. If you get the screens, then that would be more pricey. But you don't need the screens because you can plug it into your computer and then you just run it off of your computer, your USB port too. So I don't know. It's just an idea in the back of my head that I'll work on someday.
Yeah. Do you have a YouTube channel as well?
Yes, I do. It doesn't get enough love. I need to. I'm hoping this summer to like start publishing on there again.
Ah, that's nice. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, that one's actually associated with my blog, so it's the Mouse versus Python
Ah.
channel.
Oh yeah.
That's actually linked on my blog if you go to my blog. But
Oh, I found it.
cool.
Another cute illustration. We got some hate on that actually, because yours is also holding a sword to the python. But some people they did not really like the illustration where the dog was, grabbing the snake.
People are so weird about pictures. I don't get it.
I mean, yeah, but he's just struggling with it. I mean, maybe the snake does look a little desperate, but
But the whole
Mhm.
point of the story is that the dog is not enjoying it. So
that's true. Yeah, like the dog is really like suffering throughout the book, having to learn Python.
yeah, so this reaction is only natural.
That's funny. Kind of related. I have a Python logging book, and it has a mouse with an axe, and there's a big snake in the background, and that people really liked that cover. But I've also had people complain about one of my other covers. They're like, you should have shown pictures from actually like creating a user interface with this tool on your cover instead of having a fun, illustrated cover. And I'm like, I thought about that, but when you show images from like a program on your cover, they're never sharp enough. I can never get them sharp enough to print nicely.
Something weird happens. Like you take the screenshot, it's fine. Boom, it's
hmm
not fine anymore. I'm not sure what happens.
It's because you're supposed to use 300 DPI or greater, and
Ah,
that's really hard to do on a computer. You can
that
do
makes
that with
sense.
vector images, no problem, but when you take a screenshot, you can't get that level of detail unless you have like an 8K monitor.
Hmm.
I don't have one of those,
No, no, me neither. I don't
so
need an 8K monitor.
nope.
But this is how we handle that though. Like the screenshots. I mean, Imke. This is how Imke handled that. Do you see that? So she just made an
Nice.
illustration of the screenshots. Also for VS Code, which I think is nice because if we use a real screenshot, it's going to be outdated before we even print a book.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I
one.
think it's still pretty readable.
I'm not sure if it's readable
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah. That's another thing you have to be careful of with screenshots is that sometimes the text is so small you can't read what's on the in the screenshot. Even and if you blow it up too much, then it gets cropped either on the left or the right again. It's
Hmm.
very frustrating. I'm sure Imke knows what I'm talking about. I'm like, what the heck happened here?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys have like any tips you'd give to someone who wants to be a better writer or communicator?
Hmm. Multiple, I suppose.
Okay.
First of all, just write.
Yeah.
And
Don't hold it in. Do it.
yeah, and like, sometimes, when you have this like writer block thing, or at least sometimes, like, for example, when I had to write my thesis for my bachelor that I did last year, I had quite a writer block. But then what I always do, I convince myself that if I don't like what I wrote, I'll go back and redo it. And
Okay.
that sort of gets me started to just promise myself if it's not good enough, I'll toss it. And then that takes off the pressure of, oh, I want this to be really great.
Mm-hmm.
And for Python, like, imagine your audience, but I've been doing so much beginner stuff, and I just picture explaining it to, a friend, or in this case, my sister, with a cup of tea, just
Mm-hmm.
typing away. So that helps, and get feedback and take it seriously.
Cool. And for Imka, what tips do you have for people who want to draw better?
Well, I honestly don't think that I'm the best communicator, but and
It doesn't have to
also
be. It doesn't have to
I'm
be
really not that
communication.
great at drawing either. But the key is patience. Um, One of the many features in Procreate is that you can play back the whole process that your drawing has been in. So from the first
Hmm.
lousy sketch to the eventual product. So you just have to keep trying and keep adjusting, and eventually it comes naturally. So
Nice. Well, that's kind of fun because you can actually watch yourself and see where you made the mistakes, so you do better the next time.
yeah, and it's also it's kind of encouraging because okay, that illustration turned out pretty good, and it also started like that. So
Yeah.
just keep going, trust the process.
Yeah, I mean, I watch my daughter. She's been doing art for a while now. She's 11 now, and it's funny to watch how she'll take something and she messes it up, and she's like, "Oh, this is how I can fix this." And she'll usually with paint. She doesn't do it as well with pencil. Then she just gets mad. But with paint, um, she's like, "Oh, I can fix this by just blending the colors a different way, or or whatever." And it's fun to watch how different people overcome a mistake. And I mean, it's the same thing happens with coding. You make a
Mm.
mistake, you create a defect, and you're like, how do I fix this defect without messing up my current users? Because that can be a trick. You don't want to fix it and then knock out a bunch of users while you're fixing it. Because some places they don't have, unfortunately, a staging environment, so you have to
Yeah.
fix it in production, and that makes things really interesting when you have to do that. You're not supposed to do that, but that happens more often than people want to admit.
I always find that very interesting to see. Also with Java, like some of the new features, they are there to, well, not necessarily cover up mistakes, but
Mhm.
let's say unforeseen consequences of past choices. Um, so it's not mistakes necessarily, because it made sense at that time, and then they
Mhm.
have to go and they love backward compatibility there, which is great and has a lot of
Yeah.
benefits. But sometimes it leads to somewhat a little bit like compromises in terms of the solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's very interesting to see the different approaches to how to handle that.
Yeah. It's challenging because I've worked for companies where they have to support stuff that's been released 10, 15 years ago still. And how do you fix problems with that if you're for example, so let's say it was developed on Windows XP
Mm.
and XP is no longer supported anymore, but you have to still build hotfixes on that old system to be able to still fix it. How do you do that in a safe way without infecting your computer? There's lots of weird things like that where you're like, oh, I have to have this computer completely detached from the internet so I can still build things for this old product occasionally. Or well, Docker has fixed that in a lot of cases.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that is pretty interesting to see. And it's
yeah,
also it emphasizes the must-have upgrades that you sometimes need to do as a company.
hmm yep, totally. You have to be able to plan. I'm not going to support this product after so many cycles, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, that's rather interesting. What about you? How do you deal with mistakes?
Oh dear. Um, well, with books, it's actually easy because, like I said, I self-publish the vast majority of them. So I can usually just go in and fix it and then just hit publish and it
And
goes
just
out.
re-upload PDF. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't help my people who buy the print version though. Those guys are just stuck with
Mm.
whatever they get. Hopefully they bought both versions so that they can always have the up-to-date version, but not everyone does that.
Do you have like a errata page somewhere?
Not a good one. I think on GitHub I will sometimes post on there
Mm.
for the because I have a GitHub page for all of my books. So they
Ah,
can go on there and they can get the updated version of the code, and I'll probably mention in there, like I have a WX Python book out that right now the code examples all broke in the printed version, but I uploaded a fixed version for all the code examples. So the code examples will work if you download the code examples, but they're not
mm.
right in the book right now. So
Yeah.
there's that kind of thing. People sometimes the framework changes. Most of the time, though, one of the things I really like about Python is that it has been backwards compatible in
Mm.
general. Like I have code from 3.5, still works just fine in 3.14. You don't have that kind of problem most of the time.
No, that's really nice. And it also feels with Python, at least, that they had quite a steady design at version 3, that they don't have to make big
Hmm.
compromises to make it backward compatible so far.
Yeah, I guess with the new threadless version of Python where they got rid of the global interpreter lock,
Mm.
I don't know what's going to happen there. That might break a bunch of old code now that 3.14 is out. Um, but I think there was something else recently. Oh, I know what it is. They've been deprecating a lot of standard libraries the last like
Ah,
two versions, and I think they removed like 10 modules from the standard library in 3.14. So if you use those modules, you're kind of stuck. You know,
yep.
you gotta migrate. But
Yeah.
in general, you don't have that problem.
Yeah, I need to look into 3.14. I'm still stuck at 3.13. That's, I think, what we wrote the book in mostly.
Yeah, your book will be fine. Beginner
Oh,
topics
yeah.
never cover
Will be
anything that
fine.
gets broken.
Well, when I wrote the book, I only found out that we had what's it called, the match statement in
Hmm.
Python as well. It's like switch in many other languages, of course.
Yep.
I don't. I would just say I just had like, really, do we need this? Come on, Python.
No.
You're lean like this usually.
Yeah. I feel like that's a not an unneeded feature. When I first started Python, almost 20 years ago now, I started Python and I missed it because I used switch so much
Uh,
in C++, and I'm like, why doesn't Python have this? And then I discovered dictionary dispatch, which basically does the same thing, and that works better than switch. And I've never needed it. I still don't use it. I'm not using the match statement today, not because it's not a nice feature. I just don't need it. So I've never used it.
I mean, if you've been doing Python for so long, you better have a workaround by now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think I have one more question for you, ladies. Do you want to share like any non-technical hobbies that either of you enjoy?
Well, Imke, you go first.
Yeah, the hobbies, that's my department, right?
Ah,
All you
So
do
many.
is work.
you choose the hobbies for your sister?
No, honestly, besides working out, I wouldn't know what Micah's hobbies are.
I see.
But I
Me
have
neither.
many hobbies. I like to knit, I like to sew, and um, I like going to the skate park. So
So
even if Micah
rollerblading,
doesn't
or
have any work for me, I am not bored. I'm not bored.
I see. Nice.
And you do like wheelchair skills teaching as well
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
hobby, hobby or job
Not
hobby.
What do
sure,
you?
not sure which one of the which one of those it is, but it's something that I do. Yeah, I teach wheelchair skills. So usually
Cool.
when people get a wheelchair, not everybody figures out on their own how to jump up how to jump up a curb, or how to ride down a hill safely. And well, I work together with other people in wheelchairs to teach those skills, and it's really it's nice to do it because I get to play around
Yeah,
myself, and it's very important to share this.
that's cool. How did you get into doing something like that? I've never even heard of someone who just teaches other people how to use a wheelchair.
Yeah, well, actually, I have had a wheelchair for years because I have a silly issue with my legs, and
Hmm.
I didn't know what was possible
Okay.
until I had a training for wheelchair skills myself, and then I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
wow, wheelchair is not a disability. It is a wheelchair is not a disability. It's
Hmm.
freedom, and yeah. So I wanted to keep doing this to also give other people the feeling of freedom. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. That's really cool. Did you come up with any good ones, Micah?
Does sleep count? No, it doesn't
No.
count. I love
That's okay.
teaching though. It's something I do in my free time. Close to a
Yeah,
hobby, I suppose. No,
that's okay.
I love to work and to create all these things. And I have two kids. I would not call my kids a hobby, but they do sort of like take up time that you would otherwise not know how to spend, as you
Yep.
probably know.
Yep.
Mine is almost 11-year-olds as well, the oldest one.
Nice. That's cool.
Yep.
It goes by fast.
Yep. I'm getting old, Imke.
Wow.
You're
Yeah.
an auntie for 11 years already.
Yeah. Happy to be.
All right. I think I got through all my questions. So I just want to thank you, both of you ladies, for spending time with me today and talking about your brand new book and some of your future work.
Yeah, it was lovely to meet with you, Mike. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And like I said to all of our listeners, I will provide links to both of these lovely ladies' work so you can check it out yourself and hopefully purchase many copies.
Greatly appreciated. Thank you for that.
Yep.